Hey everybody, welcome to Root Awakening TV. Last week we took a little bit of a break. We made some delicious food. We visited my daughter and her partner in Toronto. The leaves are changing in Kawartha Lakes. They're changing all over, and it's starting to direct how we cook. Deeper colors, deeper flavors. And so welcome to season 3, episode 4. We have some exciting things to do today. We're taking you on a little tour. Hello to Speakeasy Studio. I think we're up on their big TV today. So whoever is in the studio, have a nice Sunday. Welcome to us. We are going to be going on a tour today. So we've started a new video series. Hey, Jax is here, yay! We've started a new series and it's called Straight to the Source. And it's us taking you to a primary food source. So we are going to be touring farmers, dairy, a mill, a brewery. Now I know a brewery is not a primary food source, but it is a primary food group according to many. We're going through farms in the Kawartha Lakes and in the GTA. We're showing you how hard farmers work. And we saw Merkaba Acres Farm this week, and the farmers are working really hard. We're going to start off with our drink o'clock. We're making an apple cider mimosa. So this mimosa has a soft cider, apple cider, and it has a hard cider, and we chose, it's Canadian apples. Growers, maybe you've had this one before. It is a Honeycrisp apple, and so we thought that one suited it all, and it's got a little bit, it's got a little bit of tequila in it. So let's start it. First of all, we're going to just, welcome to Treats by Mom. Jane is here today. Jane is a fellow vendor at the Bobcaygeon market and farmers market, and she is a very good bake with bread. We are going to just put our glasses and we're going to rim them a little bit with some cinnamon sugar. We thought that was a nice addition to this drink. So yeah, we had a good time at Merkaba Acres Farm. We're going to take you on that tour. So much work and so much excitement. It makes you, romanticize the whole lifestyle. Like, oh, being a farmer it looks so nice. And, I think it's a lot harder work than we give it credit for. So we're going to put the cold apple cider, soft. I'm going to put, I'll put it all what I've got here. It's a couple ounces per drink, and then it's a ½ ounce of tequila because it's a mimosa. It's not, a get toasted kind of drink. Okay, so I'm making 2 drinks, so I'm going to measure the tequila. Let's put 1 shot because we're making 2 drinks. And then we're going to shake this up in some ice. We're going to add the hard cider right to the drink. I always do it over my sink, if you noticed. I am not doing that live on stream. All right, so the rimmed glasses with that cinnamon sugar looks really nice. Why do I do that all the time? Can somebody next time put in the chat, hey, leave the lid on. I do it every single week. So we're going to put this in. So this is a cold, soft cider with a little bit of vodka. It's chilled like that. See, perfect, perfect. So that's a couple ounces per drink. And then we're going to top it off with the hard cider. Simple mimosa, simple. And we had one yesterday, which we always do, and it's delicious. We're going to garnish it with a slice of apple. You can also garnish it with an apple peeling, but I couldn't do that ahead of time because if I did the apple peeling ahead of time, it was going to go dark. So what I do is I put the apple slice, make a slice, and then just put the apple on the rim of the glass. Looks nice. So, Jax is here. Speakeasy is here. Merkaba was supposed to try and join us, but they're busy. They probably, cheers. delicious. It's delicious.
Bourbon in this, or is that the other thing?
Tequila. It's delicious. Mmm. That little cinnamon sugar on the top.
My idea.
It's his idea. It's very good. So we're going to do, while we've got our drink, we've got a little new format, and this was Liz's idea. We're going to be doing the Name That Tool before we even get started, because I'm not giving it away. Now, Jane, you are not allowed to answer this question because you will know this one. Or have the Name That Tool. There we go. So I'm going to show you the tool today. Name that tool. I've got the cloth on the bottom. It's because that's the way I keep it. Come on, folks. What do I do now? I don't want you to tell me what I use it for or what is slang or use of it. I want you to tell me the exact name of it. It has two names, depending on what part of the world you're coming from. So this tool, you'll see, it's a bamboo kind of basket. There's a liner that goes inside the liner. I choose not to use that liner. I choose to put it on the bottom to protect any of the flour that's in it from coming through. What do I call this? You may even want to tell me what I use it for, but to be totally eligible for the contest giveaway, which is a air fryer given away on December 18th, you must tell me the name of this.
You said put flour in it.
I don't see any chat, so I don't know if anybody is actually going to try and guess it. And then I put it in a plastic bag because I keep it. Bowl diaper. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Ooh, somebody's got a sort of a name.
She was not supposed to enter.
Treats by Mom just couldn't help herself because she knows this. I've never seen it spelled that way, but it's close. It's really close. Can I just tell you, this apple sort of sticks up in my face. I don't like it. Okay. Bullshit. No, Liz. It's not a shower cap. So, Treats My Mom is the closest. It's called a Benetton basket. Yeah, well, you had it, though. You don't have to spell. You had it. What it is for, it's a proofing basket. So you put a sourdough, you can put any rustic loaf into that basket. It has flour in it so that it doesn't stick. You let it proof, the second proofing. You tip that up onto your pan that you're baking on gently, and that's what that is. It's a Benetton basket. There we go. Benetton basket. So Treats by Mom is entered into the air fryer giveaway. I think we're going to give it to Queer Chaos because they also were pretty close. That drink is delicious. I shouldn't have had one because it's really delicious. Designer, Beverly Hills, she. It's not that fancy, but it took me a week, because I live in rural Ontario. It took me a week to get that. Okay, let's go back to our Straight to the Source series. This past week, we toured Merkaba Acres Farm. It's a family-run business that's only been operating since there it is, since 2019. We were invited by Tessa Lewis, who is the daughter of the owner, Kimmy, who is the business end of it. And it's Tessa and her partner, Kieran, who actually manage the gardens and manage the chickens and manage the livestock in general. They have such a variety of produce. It's on County Road 49 in Bobcaygeon. It's here local for us. And the cherry on the top of this farm is that they raise Wagyu cattle. And yay, Merkaba Acres is entering the chat. First time chat. Sorry we're late. It's okay. We're just starting it. So they're in the chat right now. Just in time. So Tessa and Kieran run the operation. Her mom, Kimmy, actually owns the farm, And she took a complete leap of faith to purchase this farm and to go for it. It's really running at full tilt. So they've got chickens and they've got loads and loads of produce, so much variety of produce that it's hard to imagine they can do this. There's a farm store on County Road 49 at the homestead, and that's where you can go at any time to buy their prized Wagyu cattle. So we purchased some Wagyu cattle and Wagyu cut, and we are going to be cooking that today. Wagyu cattle, if you've ever had it, it's a luxurious marbled meat that, there we go. Treats my mom finally got it. Bannatyne, she's tried hard. It's marbled beef that has this buttery texture. It's second to none. It's sought after. It's worth every penny that you pay for it. If you find a producer, which is fairly rare, you're going to lock into them, because if you want to really have a top-end quality beef cut, this is where you go. You go to Merkaba Acres Farm. Now, they sell in a variety of places. They also, hey, Andrea's here, welcome. I'm so glad you're here for this. They sell at the Bobcaygeon Farmers Market. They have an online presence. They have a website that's designed by Kieran and Tessa. They also do deliveries close to the GTA in Uxbridge, and sometimes it goes directly to the GTA. So we're going to show you our tour, but what I want to let you know is they have a CSA program, and it's a subscription, and you probably have seen these subscriptions before with other farmers. And there's probably one in your area if you're not in the local district, right, that's viewing this. So CSA is a community-supported agriculture, and you subscribe to it. In the beginning of the spring, you pay full out for the program, and then for about 18 to 20 weeks, you get fresh delivery right out of the fields, whatever is in season. It's a beautiful program. So you just take what they send, or you can order it, I'm sure, but it helps you to get creative. You're getting spinach, you start cooking with spinach that week. I love it, and I am going to subscribe to it this year. So Tessa and Kieran are here. We had a great time. Kieran took us on a wild tour. It took us right out. Oh, yay, Mark's here. Took us way out where the cattle were. I learned more about cattle than I thought I needed to know. Now, there's one little part I need to let you know. In this video, you're going to hear Kieran and I talking about sometimes an animal gets caught in a fence, an electrical fence, and I said to him, oh, do you ever just come out in the morning and see this animal? And he's like, oh yeah, win some, lose some. And I'm thinking he's talking about a 1,000-pound cow, and I could not believe that he was so lighthearted about losing one of these prize cattle. It was later that I realized he was talking about a chicken. Nonetheless, we still value that chicken. The tour was amazing. Let's take you to that video and show you. Welcome everyone to our new series called Straight to the Source. We're here at Merkaba Acres Farm, and we're showing you how a primary food source brings food to our table.
Because it has been a good growing season, and we like to pass on the bounty to the members. But some people who are just, a single person or a couple have said that it's a lot of food for just one or two people.
And how would everyone get a hold of you to start as a subscriber?
Taking sign-ups at the moment, but if you sign up for the newsletter or follow us on social media, then we'll put out information about how to get involved for next season.
And that would start back up in the spring?
Yeah, usually by late June we have stuff ready to harvest.
That's great. Seems to be a recent family venture. It looks like your mom began this venture for you. Can you explain more about that?
Yeah, for sure. So, we're not a farming family. We're not from a farming background at all. But my mom has been coming to Bobcaygeon for pretty much her whole life and has lived here full time for a number of years now. And she came across this property and kind of fell in love with it.
It's just beautiful.
It is a really special property. And then the opportunity came up to purchase the property and to kind of seized the opportunity without any real plans or knowledge about farming.
Just took a risk.
Took, yeah, a serious leap of faith. And that was in 2019. And she started out, she got a hemp growing license and wanted to grow hemp. Took a stab at that, realized it was very difficult and not necessarily the most profitable thing to do. And then in 2020, Kieran and I moved here we were living out west at the time. So we moved out here to join her, and oh, hi, Bo.
There's Kieran over there. This is Tessa's partner. He's out there working hard. He's also living on the farm, working on the farm. That's not great. There is another worker, Jess, way over there. She's working hard. Tessa runs a really tight ship here, I think.
I'm gonna help Jess with celery.
We have another employee over here.
She was volunteer.
Oh, volunteer, wow, thank you for volunteering on this. Which brings us to the fact that this is a primary food source.
We have 36 head of cattle on the farm at the moment. You can't see them from here, but we have a 40-acre pasture out in the back. And they're Wagyu Angus cross.
Wow.
To the breed of the cow. And we raise them entirely on grass in a rotational grazing system. Mm-hmm. So that's a regenerative agriculture principle where the goal is not only to raise the animals for beef, but also to regenerate the soil by
I see.
the way the cows move through the different paddocks. It allows the plants to really grow strong roots and regrow in between grazings, and that helps with the soil health. It helps the plants to sequester more carbon out of the air, and it has the added benefit of making sure that the cattle have really nutritious forage all summer long.
It's just amazing what you know. It's just amazing that you just moved here and already you are an experienced farmer. So how does the community access that beef?
So we sell it at the Bobcaygeon Farmers Market every Saturday, the last market of the season, obviously coming up this weekend, Thanksgiving weekend. We also sell it at our farm store here on the property. So we have a small farm store where we sell our vegetables, we sell our beef and eggs, as well as some goods from other local growers and producers. So you can access it there, or you can always just email us, and from time to time we do deliver into Toronto.
Okay, and how is the farm store open year-round?
To be determined. Last year we closed down for the winter, but I think we're going to stay open maybe 1 or 2 days a week over this winter. We won't have produce, but we'll have the meat.
The meat, yeah, sure.
So yeah, stay tuned for our winter hours. We'll have them posted on our website and on our social media as well.
So what crops are left? Like you are doing spinach, you'll have kale probably for a while.
Yes, we've got lots of kale, lots of Swiss chard, arugula, our salad mix, which is
delicious,
kind of a favorite from our customers. The celery is going to keep going for a little while, green onions, and then we have lots of storage crops. So storage onions, shallots, garlic, beets, and carrots.
And that stuff could go into early winter. You could be selling that at the farm market or the farm store.
Exactly.
So, and I see that there's sometimes other workshops on the premises. You sometimes have flower designing workshops. Do you have any plans for anything like that?
Not at the moment. The frost just terminated all of our flowers, unfortunately. But yeah, we do grow some cut flowers, and we did a couple flower arranging workshops. And then we're hoping to do some more workshops in the future around herbs, maybe some cooking demonstrations, things like that. We're just trying to get some of the infrastructure around the farm set up more for hosting people.
Well,
here.
to have to take things step by step.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I'm going to
farm tours every once in a while so people can come out and see what we're doing here.
Yeah, I've heard about those farm tours. I haven't been on one. Well, I'm obviously on one right now. Well, I'm going to let you get to work. I thank you for being part of this. We're going to take a look around, if you don't mind, and we're going to just focus in on Kieran now because he looks like he's working really hard. So we're going to go over there and talk to him for a bit, and we'll be back.
Sounds good. Thanks.
Tessa's partner, all of a sudden, she says, we're moving to Ontario and you're going to be a farmer. What gave you that knowledge to live in BC, move here, and become a spinach picker?
We made the decision together, and actually at first I have my own business as a graphic designer. So But yeah, learn through Tessa, and like she said, just learn by doing.
But those graphic skills would really come in handy here. That's a real niche that you're filling at this farm.
Yeah, exactly. It was nice to have kind of an in-house person to do some of the communications and the website and to get all that marketing off the ground. Like, we've been able to build a really nice customer base here and like made a lot of friends and customers. Really amazing, and it's such a nice little community to be a part of. And
So much different than BC, or is it?
well, I can't really say because I don't really know the farming. I don't really know this world in BC. Tess and I have lived.
That's fair.
Yeah, we've lived all over. Before we were here, we were in Alberta for a long time. Yeah.
So when we log on to the website, we are seeing your work.
Correct.
Very nice. So you like this life?
I do, yeah. I like it a lot. It's just like some days are just hard and like laborious and you're just moving stuff.
Yeah, it's hard work.
So we've got 80 chickens.
80 chickens.
Give or take.
And then they don't move, I can see.
Yeah, they do move actually.
So they've decimated this area,
Yeah.
So you just move this over?
So they've moved all summer. They've moved through here. So this is all regrown. One gets out of here, they're pretty much guaranteed goner. Now we have a bull in there, and so he'll be doing his work with all the cows, which are we've had 12 calves this year, but there's some.
Oh, they're beautiful.
Yeah, they're gorgeous.
So 1,000 pounds of meat, would that predominantly be sold here at the farm store and at farmers markets? When we bought the farm, there were no cattle.
There were no cattle, there was no fencing, like all of this infrastructure is all done by us and help with friends, and obviously we get a lot of like consulting people coming through and
You'd have to, yeah. Because
But
you're doing it right, so this isn't, like, there has to be some intuition, but this has to be taught.
yeah, exactly.
have it. It was a great tour, and we thank Merkaba Acres Farm, Tessa, Kieran, and Kimmy, and Bo, and Jess for having us there that day. They really showed us entirely what a regenerative farm looks like. So you saw that the chickens were in a mobile hut, and that it moves because they graze, they do what chickens do, they peck, and then the hut is moved, and then they can continue. So regenerative means that the farm keeps giving back to the soil, and the soil keeps giving back to us. I loved the whole tour. And then we're going to now cook with some Wagyu cattle, but I want to let you know that the next tour that we take is going to be at Three Forks Farm in Bobcaygeon, and it's going to be a very similar tour, I hope. I'm not sure it will be so crazy on what is that, a gator? What is that thing he was on? But while we were going on it, I'm enjoying the conversation, I'm enjoying the scenery, and then I realized that the cameraman's, straddling the back, trying to get all of this, and every time I saw a rut, I was thinking, uh-oh, are we gonna lose this person in the back? But we didn't, and thank you for that. Let's go on to cooking with the beef that you saw. Beautiful. For me to say, wow, that cow was beautiful, it was, and it is. Those are really, really healthy cattle, and they have this marbling. Now, you see that I've got some seepage, and that means this is really fresh. So I didn't take this out before. I wanted you to see, so the overhead camera would be the best here. I wanted you to see, look at these short ribs. Look at the marbling in these short ribs. This is beautiful. They were not licking their boogers. Apparently, according to Kieran, they were licking a supplement, a salt, a mineral that helps them because they're completely grass-fed and hemp-finished. So that was a supplement. So look at these, if you will. The marbling in this. This is going to be exceptional. This is 1.8 kilograms, and it's plenty for our family. And then when this is done, I'll be making some more stock with this. First thing we're going to do, I preheated the Dutch oven while that video was going, and we're going to dredge them through some flour. Who would say that? No one wants a booger-licking cow. No, I don't think Kieran was telling us anything but the truth. Kieran is learning on the go too, and they've had a lot of assistance with what did he call it? Consulting. And of course, you need this. You just can't learn this through osmosis. So they're getting a lot of assistance. Think about Tessa and Kieran's, the mom, Tessa's mom coming through with just taking a leap of faith and saying, I'm going to buy this farm. We're not a farming family. I'm going to buy this farm, and we are going to start creating a lot of produce, and we're going to start raising this cattle. And I was so impressed with how much knowledge they have. So we're going to sear this. I turned my Dutch oven down. Yeah. Listen, we're going to be just dredging this. So we're putting this recipe up for you. You'll see it says 2.5 kilograms, give or take. They should be they're not confronting anybody. We are going to put this recipe up. You'll see that it says, wow, Craft Center's here. Oh, I'm so happy to see you. Welcome, Craft Center. Are you working right now? Is Walmart paying you to watch my video? Yay, I love it when Craft Center comes on. No, I work at 2. Okay, good. Well, you used your free time to watch us, and I appreciate that. The OG booger themselves. Okay, so I am putting all of this in. I'm going to sear this. This is a lot of short ribs. It says 1.8 kilo on the package, but it's delicious. Delicious. So we went to the farm market yesterday. How neat when you see these farmers having farm markets right on their homestead. How fresh does that possibly get? So we're just going to sear that. I'm going to get rid of this unsightly paper. But how fresh, how fresh. And from a vegetarian who has discovered that, you know, meat's pretty damn good. I'm not even disgusted by this. A little bit, maybe. So talking to Kieran, he cares for these animals, and he spends a lot of time with them, and then they're sent off to market and for processing. And I asked him, how does that feel? And he said it's all part of the business. He knows they're raised for that purpose. I was so impressed with the knowledge that these young people had about farming, and when you're not, you know, you're just brought into that. It's not like it's learned as a child. All right, I am braising that, so we're going to put this camera on so that you can see it. I'm trying to get all sides. Now, to tell you the truth, whenever I sear beef, the smell beckons back to the reason that I probably didn't eat beef originally. This does not have that smell. It has a very rich smell, and I'm sure it's the fat that is giving us that nice caramelized scent. So I'm going to just sear it on all sides, and then I'm going to remove it. I'm going to put a little bit more oil. I think I may have shortchanged the oil a bit. All right, we got a little bit of olive oil in there. So if you go back to the recipe, if you're making this now, you do not making this great again. If you do not have Wagyu beef short ribs, you can do this with any kind of beef. You're just not going to have that delicious result naturally. You're going to have a good, this is just braised short ribs. You can do this even with another cut. This is the basic system of how to do this. So we're going to just make sure that these are browned on all sides. Okay, I think I can remove it. We don't want to cook it too much. We just wanted to brown it. Look at this. And I've got a little bit of char there. I'm going to turn my stovetop down. Don't want that. I'm going to add a little bit more oil to it. Let's add a little bit more oil. And now we're going to add the aromatics. So let's add some onions. That is 2 medium onions. And this is 3 carrots and 2 stalks of celery, diced really fine. I'm going to give that a stir around. Now you're probably thinking she didn't put any salt and pepper on the beef. I'm letting it sit. So while the vegetables are cooking, I'm going to put the salt and pepper right onto the beef that's sitting, waiting to go back in. Again, dredged in flour and just browned on all sides. I want the vegetables over here to caramelize. Oh gosh, this is the chat going off again. So Andrea's here. I'm sure she is not entirely here because she's moving today. And you know what that's like. Nobody likes to move. That is a chore I could do without for the rest of my life. So I'm going to bring my heat up a bit. So the beef is sitting here, relaxing a bit. It's going to be gorgeous. We're caramelizing the onions. So the farm, if you would like to go check them out on the website, on their website, that's Kieran's work, Tessa's work as well. You're overtaking the stream. Go check out the website and you can see out of curiosity, why do you coat in flour before searing? I do that because of the browning. It's going to give us a little bit more flavor, and it's also going to give us a little thickening of the wine and broth that we're going to put in after. So it is for flavor. I can smell the salt and pepper on this starting to come out. That's what we do. I put a little bit of flour on it. It coats that in. It sears the juices in, and it also adds a little bit of thickening to our broth after. Now that might be a question from Kieran, because I have found out that Kieran is quite the cook, and we've discussed what I was going to do with these, and we discussed that probably this was not a bad idea to do this braised. Okay, I'm getting these a little bit caramelized. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to make some space. There's some fond in there, but that's going to come out. I'm going to put in a couple, go back to the recipe, I think it's a couple teaspoons, I don't know if where is that tomato paste? 2 tablespoons. Do they have names? I think they do have names, and that's where Kieran gets into trouble with falling in love with them. I'm going to put a little bit of that. Now, don't put this in after. Put this right on the bare bottom of the pan. You want the tomato paste to caramelize a little bit as well. Can we bring attention, please, to this little spatula? Do you love this spatula? So I am putting that on the bottom of the pan so that it browns as well. It gets a little bit of sweetness to it. And then we'll let that brown a bit. You see how it's making some sugar of its own. Yeah, I got a little bit of char there. It's so tiny. I love it. It's, you know what it is? It's specifically for a bottom of the jar. That's what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to scrape the bottom of the jar, but I like it for those little tiny jobs. Okay, I like it. All right, mixing the tomato paste in with all of the holy trinity of carrots, onions, and celery. I'm going to move that aside, and here's where I'm going to add in, deglaze the pan with 1 cup of red wine.
So you spell Merkaba?
It's a O-I-X. 1 cup of red wine in there. Let's deglaze our pan. And when that goes in, we can now move our vegetables back in. Some people would remove the vegetables. Because I've done them so tiny, I like to keep them in. Oh, there's that nice scent. So here we are. We're picking up all of the fond from the bottom. Nice. Now, layer it. We're going to put some salt and pepper in now. So with salt and pepper, I like to layer. Every time I do something different to my dish, that's where I add some salt and pepper. Did you notice something I did not put in here? Did you notice something I did not put in my dish? Pay no attention to queer chaos. They're going off. Cooks in the house. What did I not put in here? No cooks in the house. Something I did not, on purpose, I did not add. And you would think it belongs in here. I'm going to give you a little hint. I didn't add garlic. I don't want the garlic to take over. Don't want the garlic to take over. So I have got this. I'm going to add 2.5 cups of beef broth now. You can make this beef broth from shank steaks that they have right now in their farm store. All right. Now, going back to that flour. There's no flour in here right now. It's still on the beef. It gives a nice crust. This kitchen is a mess. It's always a mess. Salt. Yes, I did. I added salt to the meat. I added salt to the broth. It's garlic. I didn't. Now I'm going to take a couple bay leaves, fresh. I'm going to take some sprigs of thyme. You can't do without thyme. I'm going to put that right in. And of course, fresh rosemary. That's going to go in. And at this point, this is when I return the beef. So let's put the beef back in. You can see it's got a little crust on it. Still has lots of cooking to do, and this is going to sit right in, nestled right into that. Beautiful cuts of meat. This is going to make not just one meal, this is probably going to make meals for the week, because I'm also going to make soup out of those bones. So you'll see, it's all nestled in there. It's going to sit inside of the deglazed pan with the beef broth, the red wine, and now I'm going to layer it again. Now, soup of your life. Now I'm going to add another fresh ground salt and fresh ground pepper to it. I'm going to turn the heat down now. I do not want this to go more than a simmer. Okay, you have choices. You could now put this into your oven, or you can just let it simmer on the stovetop. I am going to try, I like the oven, I like it a lot. I'm going to try just simmering on my stovetop for the day, because I've got some other things going in the oven. So this is a 2-hour simmer. We're going to return the lid. And I'm going to keep a close eye on that while we're cooking other things, and that's a delicious braised short ribs in red wine and beef broth and a little bit of aromatics. That is ready to go. So what would you serve with that? Of course, you would serve a garlic mashed.
Rain.
Oh, only our bull has a name, Rain. Rain on me, Rain. Would you like to, would love to hear your suggestions. No, Tessa and Karen and Kimmy, you don't want to hear their suggestions. They're going to be, Rain is such a cute name. It is such a cute name. He reigns over all of the other cows. It's probably, oh, okay, you're at the farmer's market. Which farmer's market are you at?
That would be,
So if they're, you know, this is it. You've seen the farm. It's impeccably kept. This is something about their produce and their cattle. It's impeccable. It looks like a storybook farm. It is so clean and so well managed. So you know what you're getting from that farm store and from that farm is top of the line. And you know, I'm sold on what I can buy there. I am sold on it. So if you are interested in that market, they do make some deliveries to the GTA. Go on their website, Merkaba Acres Farm, and see what can you do. Message them. They're very accommodating, and you know, they're working hard. Let's talk about the sides. A garlic mashed, of course, that's good. I'm going away for dinner tonight, so I was going to make garlic mashed, and I'm not going to because, well, I think Daffy Duck is an excellent name for any pet. Patches too. And then a girl group named the Salty Girls. Well, Rain loves all of those names, I'm sure. Another thing that you could do for a side, and I'm going to show you, woo, there goes my top. This is produce from Merkaba Acres. Oh, Uxbridge on Sunday. Ooh, nice. See, that's getting closer. That's a nice market. They work there with Three Forks, I believe. And you know, it's cold out, and here's these farmers still doing what they do, bringing food to us. We are so lucky to have them. I am going to do some sides today, and this is vegetables straight from Merkaba Acres Farm, and they're still producing. Their arugula, their spinach, probably their kale is still in the fields, probably beets, late season carrots, I'm not sure, but some people say that if carrots are kept in the ground and they go through a couple freezes, they become sweeter. I have a feeling that's true. So we're going to do some Brussels sprouts. Oh, I bet you miss working farmers markets craft. I love it. I mean, I'm not a farmer, I'm just a food producer, but I love being there. Okay, so let's put some, I got parchment paper only because I don't like the mess that it makes on my pans. So we've got some, look at these beets. This is, overhead please. This is beets from Merkaba Acres. And They have some yellow colored, these are multicolored, they're so sweet. Usually I don't make a big deal about beets. These are delicious. So I parboiled them, and I didn't even peel them. I parboiled them so they're a little soft, and then I just took the ends off because they're a little unsightly. So the beets are parboiled, and I'm mixing it with Brussels sprouts. And if you do Brussels sprouts and beets together, it's a really nice combination. And since the beets are parboiled, they cook at the same rate as the Brussels sprouts. So all I'm going to do is spread these on a parchment-lined paper, a parchment-lined tray, rinse my hands off. I'm going to then put a little bit of olive oil on top. Everybody knows how to do roasted veggies, but you know, it doesn't take away from how delicious they are. Today I'm going to use a little bit of this cannelle spice. It's called Organic Roast Dinner. It has a combination, there's rosemary in it. I think there's some, if you can see here, there's a little bit of paprika in it. No salt. So I'm going to put this on. You can look up cannelle spices, Google it. You'll see that you can easily order online from them. It's a all woman run company out of Montreal, and these compound spices, they have multitudes of varieties. They're delicious. Okay, I'm going to add a little bit of salt and pepper to my vegetables because the cannelle spices don't always include salt. These compound spices that they make, what the big deal about that is you don't have, if you're hurried and you're making meals on the go, you don't have to think about what spices should I put in that. You know, so they have made these compound spices to make that simpler. Here's what I like to do on top of roast veggies. I like to tent it a little bit, and that just keeps the splatter. But you notice I don't go all the way to the edge, so it still has some air circulation. All right, I'm going to put that in my lower oven. Whoa, 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 whoa. The heat from the oven made that fly. That should take about 30, 35 minutes max. The next thing we're going to do is we are going to roll some Japanese milk buns. Now, I was going to make them from scratch, but Jane will attest to this. Making bread on a live stream is impossible. I use a pizza peel because it's mobile.
Pizza what?
Did you do the twerking?
Yes, it is.
This is a pizza peel, and I do this so that it's mobile, I can mess it up, I can carry it away. No, we're not ending it with dire straits. On their Speakeasy's live stream, they showed that just about any movie, Godfather even, could be end with Walk of Life by Dire Straits. Hilarious. We're not going to end it like that today. So I'm going to show you these Japanese pumpkin milk bread. It's very simple, and I was hoping to make it. Maybe we will. I don't know. I don't think we have time. So I'm going to roll them out. This was made about 10:30 this morning. It's been proofing, bulk proof, for 90 minutes. That's enough for it. So this is a milk bread made with yeast. It's not a starter. It's something that you could make on a Sunday or on a weekday. This is a high hydration. This one, oops, some butter. This is a very high hydration. This is about 80%. It's harder to work with, but it's deliciously airy and fluffy. I'm going to heavily flour this because it's a little bit difficult to work with. I'm going to get a bench scraper, and we're going to start turning this over. So what I'm trying to do is do some folds because it's really sticky. It's hard to work with, like I said, but you'll lower the hydration of it. You could put less milk. You could put less water in it, but you're going to get a really nice bread out of this. So I decided to choose the Japanese milk bread today because it goes along with our theme of the Japanese cattle that we were cooking. I keep calling it cattle, but I guess once it's cut, it's no longer called a cattle. The one with the matrix. Yeah, that was the funniest one. So we're just turning it, getting some management of it. You can see I've got a little bit on my fingers because it is pretty wet. We're going to take that off. You can see the color of it. That's because there is some pumpkin in here. So I don't think we have the recipe for this. I'll put the recipe up on my Instagram for this. So I'm going to flatten this a little bit, make sure that it's not still sticky, and I've got some control of it now. The stickiness is inside, not on the outside. We're going to divide this into 3. Okay, why I've divided, now you'll see that when I've cut it, our outside edges, we're just going to lightly dust. My bread pan is right here. Here's how you fold this kind of bread. So I hope that Jane is still watching because she knows how to do this really well. So we're going to flatten it into a rectangle kind of thing. We're going to fold it once, fold it twice, and then just push on that fold. A little bit more flour here. This is not like sourdough. You can put a little bit more flour. You're not compromising it. Okay, here's how we're going to do this. Flatten it out into a rectangle. We're going to use the overhead for this. Okay, and then pull it and roll. It's very sticky, but it's worth it. So here we go. We have got what looks like a roll, and we're going to lay that into this pan this way. Okay, and then we do the next one like that. We need our bench scraper because it's sticking to the board. It's quite, it's a difficult dough to handle because of the hydration. You can certainly make it with less and have an easier time to handle it. I don't know if you're going to enjoy it as much. So, what was the first fold we did? We're going to fold it here, a letter fold. We're going to fold it there. Push on that to deflate. Go this way. Make a nice rectangle. Pull, and then roll. I love the color of this. The pumpkin makes a nice color. It also adds a nice bit of vitamin C. We're going to add it to this pan. So we're going to have 3, looks like distinct logs in a row, but what's going to happen is they're going to rise together.
Looks thick. What's that mean?
It looks thick. No, it's not. It's really a soft, very pliable dough. We're going to fold, deflate it. I'm going to do it like this. Now this one seems, I think it may have had a little bit more flour. What looks thick, my producer or the dough? All right, this one is a little bit easier to handle. I'm feeling better about this one. Now, I did lightly season the pan with a little bit of olive oil. Roll it like as if you're making a rolled up cinnamon bun. You can see I've got that. We're going to put that in as the 3rd section. So here's what I have. I have 3 sections in this pan. And now this is going to be put, I'm going to scrape off because my hands were a little yucky. I'm going to put this back on the proofing pad. This is going to rise for about 40 to 50 minutes, and then it'll be puffed right up, hopefully. And then it's going to go into the oven, and we're going to cook it for about 30 minutes at 350. It is going to be delicious bread.
See your hands?
I'm going to rinse my hands off. We're going to go back to our dish right now and our Dutch oven and see how the beef is doing. Let's go take a look at that. Nice, it's starting to simmer a bit. I'm going to turn it up just a bit. Where's my tongs? Oh, here they are. Let's turn it over. Go back to this camera, so we'll turn them over. You can smell the rosemary. That's the smell that's hitting me first, right? Just going to turn them over a bit so that they're evenly cooking. So what would you choose? You could choose to simmer it on your stovetop. You could choose to put it, if it's an oven-safe pan, You could choose to put it in the oven. Smells delicious. The 2 medium onions in there are really adding a lot of flavor. I can smell the onions and I can smell the rosemary cooking, and I can smell the red wine, of course. There you have it. That is going to be done about 3 o'clock. So we're just going to leave that to simmer very slowly. This I have to put back on the proofing pad so that it can rise for about 40 minutes. Now my kitchen is a little on the cold side because I have granite countertop, and the granite countertop, there's a lot of it here, so my kitchen's always a little cold, so I use a proofing pad that keeps it at a nice temperature and helps it rise. We've got that, and we've got our Brussels sprouts and our beets roasting, a garlic mashed in 2 hours, simple, delicious, whole foods, straight from the source and straight from the farmer. You don't get any better than that. If you have that opportunity to buy straight from the farmer, you know you're getting really hard work from them and top-notch quality of food. Try and go online today and check out some of these farmers that we're talking about, because they do deliver to your area and it's good food. Okay, let's finish up. This brings us to the end of our cooking today. So next week, we are in contact with Three Forks Farm, and they raise chicken, cattle, not cattle, pigs and lamb. And you know, it's another farm that is going to wow you. So we have to go visit them. We're going to do our video, we're going to edit it, and we're going to bring it to you. So thank you for stopping in today. We've got delicious food cooking in this kitchen. It is very delicious. Keep cooking, keep nourishing yourself, keep nourishing the people you love. And for today, this kitchen is closed.